Good morning, Lake Nona and Orlando. This is Alan Maycumber, Premier Sotheby's here in Lake Nona, and I have been waiting for this interview all week. I have a very, very special guest with me, Mr. Will Castillo, and we're going to interview him because he is doing something so unique that most people don't even really know about the sport or where it evolved from and so forth. So he is a 2026 bobsledder, Paralympic bobsledder, hopeful. And so we're going to go in and we're going to go ahead and interview Mr. Will Castillo. Thank you for joining me, Will.
Thank you for having me.
And I wanted to start by giving us a little background about you, what you did, how you got to this point, and what made you get into bobsledding, because I think it's just such a cool sport. I just love it.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for having me. A little bit about myself. I was actually born in Colombia, South America. My mother married an Army veteran and migrated to the United States with me. I was raised in Queens, New York. I joined right after the attacks of 9/11. Being from there and being raised in New York was a very impactful. So I did 10 years. I joined in the Army. I did 10 years. I had 2 deployments. On my second deployment in Iraq in 2007, I was part of a QRF team, a quick response force. We went into an area to clear an area. On the way out, my truck hit a roadside bomb. It killed my driver, David Kirkpatrick. It killed my gunner, Eddie Temez, and I was injured. I lost my leg. I had some TBI and other issues. I did 2 years at Walter Reed.
Wow.
I was very blessed. I heard a lot of negative things about Walter Reed, but man, they took care of me. They really did. For those 2 years, they gave me all the medical therapy, physically and mentally, that I needed. So from there, I moved to Orlando, Florida. I got a job here with Homeland Security, and I started working with them for a while. Started going through my transition problems. I never let the leg stop me,
Well, thank you for your service, because it's very important. I was in the Army as well.
Oh.
I did not get to serve. I was, at the time, it was actually peaceful, so that was a good time. That was way back in the 80s. But thank you very much for your service, because it means so much to people out here. So now that we know your background and what happened to you, so tell me how you got into, what created bobsleighing in your mind? What set the stage?
Oh, man, honestly, it was God. I needed to get a surgery at Walter Reed, and I went there with a friend, and he said, Will, his name is Lito Santos, he's another Army veteran missing a leg. He said, let's try some winter sports for veterans. And a great lady named Kim Sievers started a program to help veterans get into sports or sort of motion on ice. And she took us to Lake Placid, and I started skeleton there. And I started at a very low part of the track. And from there, she got me into bobsledding, and I grew up all the way out to the top of the track until I made the team.
Now, what is skeleton? What kind of tell people what it is so they know how that fits in?
Yeah, so skeleton is pretty much where you lay on your chest on the board, and you go from the top of the track and you ride down the track on ice, and you control it with your shoulders and hips.
Wow,
that's
pretty impressive. I mean, and I know that bobsledding and that other one, skeleton, they can get up to speeds of excess of 60, 70, 80, 90
Oh,
miles
yes,
an hour, right?
yes, definitely even faster.
So that's pretty fast.
Yeah, it's absolutely fast, especially when you go on
As
ice.
kids ride the sleighs that we rode, and you going 15 miles an hour, you think you're a bullet. Yeah. So that's really impressive. Yeah. Okay, so now you work with a team. So what's really interesting about bobsleigh is generally it's a winter sport, correct?
It is a winter sport, absolutely.
So how do you train a winter sport in sunny Florida?
I'm very fortunate to have Lake Placid in New York as my home track.
Okay.
And with Coach and the VA grants, we've been able to have a lot of camps during the winter. And now that I'm on the national team, I actually compete internationally. So a lot of my training, honestly, comes here at home, and it's just staying physically fit, a lot of mime runs, Because when you're on the ice, a race could be over in a minute. So your whole season could be 80 minutes long.
Wow, that's impressive. And so tell us a little bit what you've done to this point to get you to the national team in terms of what other events have you competed in, won?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I first got on the team, I came in as an alternate, and I had earned my spot. And then that following year, I won the USA Nationals. So that put me in charge of the team. Because I've only really competed internationally for a season and a half, but I've already won a gold medal internationally at Lake Placid. I've won third place in Germany and third place again in Lake Placid. Once again, that's my home track, so I'm pretty good there. And but I've competed in St. Moritz, Norway. I won the national twice already, and this year I'm going to lead the team again.
So you are the true captain of the team?
I am.
And how is a team made up? I mean, I guess you have a driver, I know you have a middleman and a backman, but how does that?
No, actually, in Parabob. So in Parabob,
Okay.
there's only one person,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And you get launched by a machine. The machine launches you.
Okay.
Right? And it just comes down to your driving. So everybody gets pushed at exactly the same rate. Everybody's weight comes down to the same, so they'll add weight to your sled to make sure that you're equal
Okay.
up to everybody else. So, and then the machine just pushes you from the top of the track.
So it comes down to really skill and how you
Absolutely. So
drive the sled.
Absolutely. So we get to compete against women. That's why there is no physical advantage over a man on a female. I mean, some of the best pilots in the world are, one is from Norway, Guru. She's an excellent female pilot. We have some great upcoming female pilots in our team. So it's really competitive. The other field we have is the push field. That's for veterans, or not veterans, anybody who's missing their leg below the knee that could actually run and push and get into the sled. And that's a new sport that's actually being put together. And they're working hard to get more veterans and more people out there to come and try out the sport.
That is amazing. So you've got quite a few more years left to train and get ready.
Yeah.
So what is it that people need to know about the Paralympics? When is it aired compared to the normal Olympics?
Yeah.
What are we looking for when it comes up? And is there anything that we can do as a community or people to help you or get you going even farther?
Absolutely. So the first thing is we're not in the Paralympics yet. We do have annual World Cups. This is like any other sport. So every year we have a season. We compete international. Team USA goes out there. And we compete against all these great pilots across the world. And that's every year. So us not being inducted into the Paralympics yet, we don't get really no support from the Paralympic, travel money or anything. All these guys have to either go out and get loans or get sponsors or get anything. And we actually missed the Paralympics by one vote. Wow. One vote. So they're actually in the works of appealing and making that happen. But we have no doubt we're the next big sport to get in. And like I said, we have 27 athletes all around the world. It's an incredible sport. And the support really comes from you guys. I mean, I'm local here in Orlando, Florida. Like I said, I am the team captain, but most importantly, I'm a veteran, a Christian, and I would love to represent you guys. So all the support, you can go on my website at I'm sorry, what's that?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
okay. WillCastilloUSA.com, and on IG on Will Bobsleigh, and that's pretty much it.
So willcastillo.com.
WillCastilloUSA.com.
I'm sorry, willcastillousa.com. Remember that. Go on his website, check it out, help him out, because this is a phenomenal sport that, people just don't realize it's there. It's out there, but it's not about just the sport, it's about supporting your veterans. These guys have given a lot for not only our community, but the world, and they keep us safe. And for him to be in the position of not only representing us as a veteran, but representing us as a sports figure, that's pretty impressive to me. I have so much respect for you in terms of not only the sport, but what you've done. And what I would like to do, again, willcastillousa.com. Go to his website, support him, whatever you can give, help him out. And you can check out this video also on YouTube. You can subscribe to my channel. I'm Alan Maycumber, Premier Sotheby's here in Lake Nona. I do these interviews every week with different people to get people involved in what's happening around their neighborhood that they might not know what's going on. So again, willcastillousa.com. Make sure that you go and visit his website and get involved with the bobsledding. And I'm sure he's got a lot of information on there about the sport and what he's doing. So I want to thank you again, Will, for joining me. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Again, this will be on YouTube. It'll be on Facebook, on all my pages, Lake Nona Voice, which will be very important because he is part of Lake Nona and Orlando. And it'll be on my natural page, Alan Maycumber, as well. So check it out. Thank you again, Will. We appreciate it. Good luck, and I'll be one of the first ones to support you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
You have a great day.